Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, I just want to say this. We are single digits away from 2,000 subscribers. Single digits. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please make sure you do so ASAP. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It's Monday, so you know what Monday means. It's time to recap the weekend, college football, NFL, the week that's coming, basketball. We'll get more into that tomorrow. But first, I want to start with this. There was something released that talked about the odds to be the next LSU coach. This is from at Sports Betting AG. I got this off of Barrett Sally, his Twitter page. So thank you to at CBS Sports Barrett Sally for posting this on his Twitter page. And he had the odds to be the next LSU coach. Lane Kiffin at plus 250. Luke Fickell plus 550, Billy Napier plus 700, Jimbo plus 750, Bill O'Brien plus 850, Mark Stoops plus 850, Bob Stoops plus 900, James Franklin plus 950, Joe Brady at plus 1,000, Mel Tucker plus 1,200, Dave Aranda plus 1,400, Urban Meyer plus 1,400, John Gruden plus 1,000, which I thought it was funny. So I wanted to really quickly go through and try to make this a little bit easier for people. Number one, take out Gruden. He is toxic right now. Take out Urban Meyer because even though he's had some success, you really want to drop Urban Meyer in LSU, where coaches have seemed to have an issue with infidelity moments with co-eds or people in that neighborhood. You just don't see, it doesn't seem like the place you want to put Urban Meyer, although I believe if you got an Urban Meyer to come there, you could have some immediate success, because the problem that we've had at LSU is that they have just been awful at developing quarterbacks. And who's been better at developing quarterbacks than Urban Meyer-led teams? Dave Aranda, do you really want him to be your head coach? Or is it just going to be what you've already had? Mel Tucker, I think he's great where he is. Joe Brady, do you really want an offensive coordinator that doesn't know how to recruit, doesn't really understand the whole college game, is just kind of there? Also, certain people get fast-tracked for NFL jobs. He seems like one of those guys that get fast-tracked for an NFL job. James Franklin is interesting, but why do you leave Penn State to go to LSU? You're making your road to a championship even harder, and you're going to get similar type of money. Bob Stoops, Mark Stoops, please stop. Those days are, Bob Stoops, that day is over. Mark Stoops is interesting. Do you want to really leave Kentucky where you could be there forever and just be a legend, just cranking out good year after good year? You're never going to win a national championship, but you're going to crank out good year after good year over there. Or do you want to take that next step and see if you could put together a high-level championship winning program? I say no. I say stay at Kentucky, become a legend. That's the play there. That's what you should do. Who else? Sorry, got sidetracked for a second there. Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is an interesting name, although I've never liked Bill O'Brien as a person, and what he tends to bring out. I can't deny that he did a decent job at Penn State. Do I think he deserves a job like LSU? Absolutely not. I would not hire him as my head coach at a program like LSU. But if he was hired, I do believe he would do a competent job. He has been able to have some success with quarterbacks, which we've already said. That's been the issue at LSU, in my opinion, for a long time. Lane Kiffin is interesting because I think there was a chance some years ago, you could have gotten Lane Kiffin if you would have just given him the job instead of giving the job and trying to bring him in as the offensive coordinator. If you'd have just given him the job some years ago, maybe you could have gotten him. Maybe they tried to give him the job and he said no. I'm not sure. Billy Napier. Oh, I'm sorry. Jimbo Fisher is another one that I just think, why do you go to LSU when you're at Texas A&M making God loads amount of money, and all you have to do is be in the hunt in order for them to be happy? Are you winning a championship at Texas A&M? No, at least in my opinion, not. But LSU should be a place where you can win a national championship because people have won a national championship there before. Billy Napier and Lane Kiffin, and Luke Fickell are the two names that I look at and go, if you wanted to lay some money down on a legitimate person to take a job that actually would be good for the job, Luke Fickell, Billy Napier, those are the names that I look at and go, that's where you need to go. For Billy Napier, it's simple. How much more can you do with Louisiana? Like, at the end of the day, they are who they are. You're essentially in the SEC of the group of five, with the type of talent you have to go through to even get out of your own conference. You already know the landscape. You already know the lay of the land. You're a Louisiana guy. That seems to be the next step. Now, can you get it done? That's the question. Can you bring a national championship? The good thing for Billy Napier is that if you go to LSU and it doesn't work out, there's a chance you could still land back at Louisiana Lafayette or at another FBS level or FCS level Louisiana school, because there's a lot of them. So for Billy Napier, I think that's the jump to make. To Luke Fickell, what else are you going to do if you don't get to a championship, if you don't get to the playoffs this year with Cincinnati, or if you get Cincinnati to the playoffs? You're never going to be hotter than you are right now, and Ohio State's not coming open next year. They're not firing Ryan Day. So if that's the play, then that's the move you have to make. Now, then it becomes, can you bring someone in that can legitimately develop talent at the quarterback position? Because that's going to be the big thing. Like, can he develop talent at the quarterback position? But for me, Luke Fickell, that's the way you go. If you're trying to get somebody in here to be able to take over, Luke Fickell is who you get to take over, because he is that natural succession. You've seen him go up and up and up. He has Cincinnati in a place where they are a legitimate contender. And when you have a team being a legitimate contender, that's what you want to happen. So for me, Luke Fickell, that's the way to go. Billy Napier, that would be a good move. The other guys, nah. I think those times have passed, or they're just not realistic. Interesting to me, though, that we've dealt with so much this year with football, especially in terms of Cincinnati. But there's another team that I believe needs to have legitimate consideration, and that's Coastal Carolina. Again, I'm not with the whole, well, they're doing it this year, and so this year. I believe when you're talking about a team that comes from the group of five, you have to show a pedigree. Like, hey, we're not just doing it right now. We have been coming consistently for a long period of time. And so if we're coming consistently for a long period of time, then it's only right, it's only fitting that we be allowed to ascend to this next level. And I think that if you're allowed to ascend to that next level, then what else do we want? Coastal Carolina ran roughshod over the country last year. Coastal Carolina running roughshod over the country again this year. With so many teams not being as good as we thought they were going to be, Do we really want to see Oklahoma? Like if Oklahoma is able to go on and run the table, do we have any hope whatsoever that Oklahoma, whom we've seen year in after year, year after year, get mollywopped in the college football playoff, go in there just to get beat again? Do we need to see an uneven Big Ten team go into this thing only to get blasted by Georgia by 25? Or do we just need to see some new blood? Do we need to see some new teams? There's the opportunity. So, in my opinion, if everybody runs the table like they should, give me Georgia, give me Alabama, right? Give me Georgia and give me Alabama. Give me Cincinnati and give me Coastal Carolina. Yeah, I said it. On Twitter, I said it. Give me Coastal Carolina. Let me experience Coastal Carolina as a team in the college football playoff. Let me get them into this world. Let me see what they have to put to the table. Let's just see something different. Now it probably will never happen, and here's why. Oklahoma getting into the college football playoff means you're going to get a gigantic fan base into the college football playoff. If you put any Big Ten team into the college football playoff, you are going to get a massive college football playoff. So I understand it. Like, I get it. I know why it's not going to happen. But boy, would it be great. Man, would it be great to see all of these teams jump in there and see what they can do if given the opportunity that everybody else is given. You know who haven't been given the opportunity to do great things? They haven't been given the opportunity to shine the same way that others have. It is the Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, the winningest quarterback to come out in God knows how many years. Yet nobody cares about wins when it comes to Lamar Jackson. They care about his throwing motion. Nobody cares about wins when it comes to Lamar Jackson. They care about his throwing motion. Let that sink into you. Nobody cares about wins when it comes to Lamar Jackson. They care about the fact that his completion percentage is not the same as these other quarterbacks. They care about wins with every other quarterback when it matters. Only thing that people told me was that Baker Mayfield.
All flag football players need to meet in Coach Pfeiffer's room.
The only thing that they told us when we were assessing quarterbacks with Baker Mayfield was that Baker Mayfield has changed the culture. That Baker Mayfield is winning games. Who cares how he wins it? He's winning games. I agree. But when they're not winning, they blame everything. Oh, well, he's without his starting tackle. Well, so is Lamar. Except, oh, well, he didn't have his starting running back this game. Well, neither did Lamar. In fact, Lamar didn't have his starting running back, his backup running back, or his third string running back. Nor did he have the backup running back from last year that they released. He has all new running backs that they are just rotating through. None of them, by the way, are anywhere near as good as Kareem Hunt. None of them are anywhere near as good as Kareem Hunt. And yet, here we are. People making excuses for Baker Mayfield, who has two legitimate number one wide receivers. a legitimate number one tight end. And supposedly what was supposed to be this really good defense that has proven to not be as good as people thought they were going to be. But we're going to make excuses. But not for Lamar. They don't give Lamar any pause. Lamar had a subpar game. Oh, look at this. Do you really want to invest money in him? Yet we're sitting around extolling on guys after one or two games who have been terrible for years, had one or two game samples that were good, and now they're elite. It was all the other team's fault. Sam Darnold has come back to being Sam Darnold again. Whose fault is that? Can't blame the Jets. Can't blame the Jets. All of these people who have the opportunity to be great, they had the same opportunities as Lamar Jackson. The difference is Lamar Jackson's great. I want you to think about this when we think about quarterbacks and how they're perceived, especially the black quarterbacks. People are saying that Jalen Hurts should be benched because he doesn't have a high ceiling. They have determined his ceiling based off of his play, which has been good for the most part. From a guy who's only had a couple starts, with an inept coaching staff in front of him, with a front office that does not believe in doing traditional things like running the ball. He still had success in his short amount of time, and yet people are ready to bench him. Yet Mac Jones does not look good. Check down Charlie. Oh, by the way, Mac Jones check down Charlie. Oh my gosh, we got a stud on our hands. He processes. He take care of the ball. Teddy Bridgewater checks the ball down, protects the ball. Oh my God. He's just not going to be able to win you a game. Then he goes out there and keeps you in games. The defense lets him down, and they go, oh, now look, he had 3 turnovers. Well, which one do you want, man? Which one do you want? How many times can you move the goalposts in one narrative? Because it seems as if you're moving it all the time. Man, black quarterbacks, it is hard to be you. Dak Prescott, keep doing your thing. Geno Smith, man, that's a great game out of you. You did exactly what a backup quarterback should do. Keep his team in the game and hope that the defense can come up big for you. Russell Wilson, get healthy. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson, get healthy. Deshaun Watson, hopefully we see you again soon. I'm not afraid to say it. And so Patrick Mahomes, all of a sudden now, people are saying, well, Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the NFL. Huh? Nobody can do what that guy does. Sorry. Nobody can do what he does. Oh, well, it's just because he had guys who could blow the top off of. They still have those guys. It's going to come back together. He didn't all of a sudden get worse. It'll be all right. Tyrod Taylor, get healthy. We want to see you back in. We've seen this experiment from the Texans. It's bad. I hope that the black head coach from the Texans don't let them dupe him into starting inferior quarterbacks so that they can tank a season and get a better draft capital, because we know what happens to the coach who goes through an 0-for season. We know what happens to the coach when the coach has a terrible season dictated by the front office. They get the coach out of there. So don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, David Culley. This is your only chance. Tua, great game. Let them keep hating on you. Teddy Bridgewater, Denver fans don't deserve you. Let them have Drew Lock. Let them keep going out there and finding mediocre quarterbacks like their Hall of Famer John Elway. And if you don't believe their Hall of Famer John Elway was mediocre, just go look at his stats. Just go look at his stats. He had a few good seasons, but the rest of his career, extremely mediocre. I'll do you one better. If Lamar Jackson had John Elway stats through the first 8 years of his career, Lamar Jackson would not have made it through 2 seasons. Not through 2 seasons. And I'll dare anybody else to tell me I'm wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do these things a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. 2,000. We're close. Check out all the other content we have coming down the pipe as well. Until next time, peace.